Sarasota County Council of Neighborhood Associations. I'm Kathy Benz, I'm the president of Cona.
Can you hear?
Is that any better?
Yeah, a little bit.
How about that? Try this now. Is that better?
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Tonight's topic is the amendments to the state constitution that have been proposed by the every 20-year committee to review the Constitution. Cona will be videoing this meeting, and many of the meetings that we hold are videoed, and we maintain an archive of these videos on our website. We're not able to post every single one. We've wound up with an issue about getting them posted, but we're doing our best to get back to posting every meeting that we can. And we also will post resource materials regarding many of our meetings. So go to our website and look around on the website, at the meetings page, and at our resources. We've got two different kinds of resources. One's government resources, and one are community resources that are necessary for the members of different organizations and associations to help themselves. Our website is www.conasarasota.org. I'd like to have the various candidates for offices identify themselves at this point, please.
Following us out. Alexandra Coe, County Commission, District 2.
Rita Gignari, Sarasota County Commission, District 2. Wesley Beck, Sarasota County Commission, District 4.
Mike Constantine, Sarasota County Commission, District 4.
County and city officials.
Mornings, Mary, Sarasota County Commission. I think I was going to introduce myself when that time comes, but these two stores like, come on, get up. So I am running for Sarasota County Commission as well.
First, we'll have some announcements from our neighbors in their organizations, and Chris Bales is going to begin to talk about the issues with the Bowland Road rezone, which is called the Arbor Lake Preserve. Do you want to come up?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Bales, and I'm here to talk about a rezone petition that's happening on Bowland Road, which is a canopy road, in an area of 1 house per 5 acre. And this area is known as the Rural Heritage Area in Sarasota, and the rural heritage home site areas are disappearing quickly because developers are snapping them up and wanting to build little cluster home developments. And we live on a dead-end road, and they're wanting to put 76 cluster homes right smack in the middle of 1 house per 5 acre home sites. And so I'm here, I have these cards. If you could please write the commissioners a letter or email, I'd be very thankful for that. And I have a petition going around if you want to find out more information. And what I was told is that the 5 acre home site areas, they're just easy pickings right now. And even though not everybody wants to live and have that much acreage, we all enjoy driving by and seeing open spaces. When you drive out Palmer and you see those beautiful horse farms and things like that. So they named it rural heritage to protect it in a way. And this is a rezone amendment, rezoning to turn it into a conservation easement subdivision. And originally the conservation easement subdivisions were set up to say, okay, we'll let you build one house per 2 acres and give half the land for conservation easement. But they found a way around it to increase the density with a text amendment to the conservation easement subdivision, which was only allowed in this rural heritage area. And now they can build 4 houses per acre. So, of course, nobody knew that was happening. And now we have a situation where our rural heritage area is going to look like cluster homes. And anyway, we're fighting that on that issue. And then another issue came up on Shiloh Road, which is a beautiful road off of DeBrecken, again in the 1 house per 5 acre area. And this text amendment actually affects all the Fruitville, River Road, and Clark Road. And what it is allowing, or asking for, is an amendment where a landscape company can operate a commercial wholesale business within half a mile of Fruitville Road, Clark Road, and River Road. So that means these businesses, instead of just being in the, quote, commercial area, they could pop up in these rural homestead areas. So that's a zoning text amendment, and I have some information on these flyers here, or you can go to palmereastgroup.org and find out more information. And there's a meeting, I can't read. I think it's next Thursday, Planning Commission meeting. Even when I have my glasses on,
Thursday, June 21st.
Anyway, we're asking people to show up, wear red shirts, and support us at the Planning Commission meeting downtown. June 21st, thank you, at 5. So anyway, please feel free, I'll have these on the table, and thank you for letting me tell you all about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Ben Cannon is not able to be here tonight. He's the fellow who's been reporting on the progress with the Bath and Racket Club. And he said there hasn't been any change or any new documents submitted according to the city website. And so next will be Siesta Promenade and Sir Kochman.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kochman. I see some new faces here this evening, so just in case you don't know what the Siesta Promenade proposed project at Henderson is, it is at the corner of 41 and Stickney, that big empty lot of 24 acres as you approach the South Bridge to Siesta Key. Henderson has filed a critical area plan, which will include 414 apartments as high as 9 stories for a 130-room hotel and 140,000 square feet of retail on that extremely busy corner. They are asking for, well, they would normally be allowed 250 apartments, and they're asking for the 414, so almost double what they would be allowed. So this has been going on for a few years. Currently, the application is still incomplete and insufficient. They're on their 4th and 5th round of submissions. Last time I was here, I told you about how County Transportation had deemed the application complete and sufficient, but they had not yet received the FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation, comments. The FDOT comments were indeed received, and prior to that, I was able to get the County Transportation Department to move it back to insufficient. Unfortunately, county staff has not responded to the FDOT report, and I was speaking with the planner several weeks ago when the River Road application was going forward at the County Commission meeting, and I questioned him about where we were at as far as timeline, etc., And he said, well, you know, I expect it'll be completed in the next few weeks. Benderson has to resubmit a clean application because there have been so many changes, nobody really is clear on what's what anymore. So he wants a clean application. And I questioned him about transportation. I said, what's going on? And the quote I will repeat to you now, Paula Wiggins, who was transportation manager, was going to let the FDOT report slide. The FDOT report indicated that traffic would back up through that intersection. They didn't have enough room for their turn lanes that they were anticipating. There were several things that were seriously wrong with the Kimley-Horn engineering report that Benderson had hired them to perform. So I was a little perturbed about letting it slide, and then he said, well, I'm telling her she has to respond. Which leads me to going back a bit regarding the River Road swap. You probably read in the paper that Englewood has River Road, and that is presently a county road, and the state is going to swap State Road 758, which is Midnight Pass pretty much, all the way around the Key, off the North Bridge, snaking around Osprey and ending up at 41 NB Ridge. That is going to be their responsibility. They're swapping roads, so the state will pay for improvements to River Road as it is a hurricane evacuation route. Unfortunately, included in that swap is Stickney Point. They really, in a very interesting fashion, decided to include that segment of 41, between 41 and the South Bridge. The county should have control over that. I'm very concerned about that, especially since the comment from Paul about letting it slide, that we aren't going to have the control and the expertise of reviewing what goes on there without FDOT's input. And if FDOT's final say on what can and can't occur there as far as traffic movement. I have been in contact with Tallahassee. I spoke with the chief of staff of FDOT up there. There is going to be a public hearing on the swap. And so she's going to let me know when this hearing is going to take place, or if the way they post it is, if there's any interest in having a hearing, someone should say something. I said, how many people have to say they want to have a hearing? She said, one. I said, not a problem. So there will be a public hearing, and it's really up to the public to show up and say, we really feel that FDOT should maintain control of Stickney Point. They should maintain control of State Road 72, which is Clark, all the way from 75 through Stickney Point, and they can end after the South Bridge, because they still maintain control of the two bridges. I'm trying to talk fast. The last issue here is, yes, Alexander.
What's the date for that?
No date yet. Right now, their legal staff is reviewing the swap details to seeing if every I is dotted, every T is crossed. There has been some question about whether they're meeting the criteria. It was brought to my attention by an attorney who's not even being paid. He's just sort of watching over things, and he said he doesn't think this is right because they're swapping a hurricane evacuation route. And supposedly that is not cool to do. So we shall see where that goes. But getting back to the issue at hand about Siesta Promenade, in that conversation I had with Todd Derry, I asked him, when this hearing eventually takes place, there's 4 items that are supposed to be discussed. A street vacation, because Benderson wants to take over one of the neighborhood streets for their ingress and egress. The rezone of the property, because it's currently mobile home, pretty much. The boundary, which encompasses, supposed to encompass many stakeholders, but now it only encompasses Benderson's property, and the critical area plan itself. All 4 of those items are supposed to have a public hearing. The public is supposed to get up and talk for 5 minutes. I asked him, boy, this is really going to be a long, long meeting. I assume we're going to all have 5 minutes to get up and talk on every topic. He said, no. Everybody will have 5 minutes to talk on 4 topics. I said, there is no way I could even talk really fast on all 4 of these topics in 5 minutes. It's a violation of due process. They're trying to stifle public comment. So this is, I think, a very, very serious issue, and I'm going to be raising holy hell about this with the county, and I hope that if it does come to pass, that everybody will complain and really make this a serious issue, because there are so many people that have interest in this, and not being able to talk for your full 5 minutes on each one of those topics is really a serious violation. And that's all I've got.
Well,
Yes, I might.
hi. One thing I think we got, I know, I've spoken at a lot of county commission meetings since this drug thing happened.
Could you come up and speak in the
They want to
microphone,
get you on the
please?
mic.
Thank you. I've spoken at a lot of commission meetings since this beach road issue, and if you look at the county commission procedures, the problem is the chair of the county commission has the right to cut that 5-minute time limit for anything else. So I don't know procedurally what you can do with respect to breaking those into separate hearings, but with respect to the hearing, dependent upon the crowd size, it is within the purview of the chair to limit the time.
Right.
So I think we
Right.
have to just be aware of that.
Right, thank you. Yes, I do know that they can limit the time, but in fact, the street vacation has been advertised. There will be a public hearing strictly for the street vacation. And now they want to combine everything. So we shall see where this goes. Thank you. Oh, on the table over there with all the paraphernalia, there is a spiral notebook that says Siesta Promenade email list. So if you'd like to become informed about what's going on, I send out updates, and I also send out when the hearings are going to be. I don't inundate you only when there's something informational. So if you'd like to be informed, please sign up there, just your email. So
Just give your name again, I didn't get it.
I'm Sura Kochman, S-U-R-A, Kochman, K-O-C-H-M-A-N, born and raised in Sarasota.
Tom, would you like to talk about Selby Fields? Can you give an update, please? This is Tom Matrua.
I'll be even briefer. I'm not talking about the Salary Fields, though. I'm talking about the quad parcels next to the Salary Fields, which are owned by the county, that is, by us. I believe that the more I learn about the problems and the resistance to putting something for the community on these parcels, the more I learn, the more I realize that every issue that we confront concerning the county, planning, the political and ideological structure of this county is at play in this issue. So I would advise you all to, if you're interested, get some knowledge of this by going to our Fresh Start blog. It's freshstartsarasota.blogspot.com, and also to perhaps sign up for our email list, because we are coming down to a deadline of middle of July. We have Fresh Start, that is a group of HOAs that's been working on a plan, a citizen-produced plan for the area. What we have is a plan that the YMCA is putting together that would put an athletic complex on one of these parcels, and perhaps even more than one of these parcels if we could get the county to agree. We are encountering resistance, or let's put it this way, a lack of enthusiasm on the part of the people we talk to. And when you discover that the industrial complex that's next to this is owned by Bob Wachter, things begin to fall into place, and you begin to get more of a sense of why there is so little enthusiasm in the county to put something good for the community in this area. So it's an interesting problem. We are coming down to a deadline. We hope in July to come in with the YMCA before the board, present a solid plan that will put more than $1 million worth of improvements on a parcel, all from YMCA money, take the parcel off the hands of the county for any maintenance or responsibility, and give the community something worthwhile. And all we're asking in return is that people come out and support that, because without your support, this won't happen. Thank you.
Tom, you say lack of enthusiasm by the county, you mean the county government,
Oh, absolutely.
not the county population.
Right, correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Another question.
Yeah.
What's the July date again? Where is the meeting?
Thanks, Alexander. We are, what is the date of the meeting? We're actually, we have to line that up. We have right now a private meeting that we are trying to schedule with the administrator to set up the public meeting that would happen possibly on July 11th. Our deadline is to get something to the board before they go on vacation. And I believe July 11th would be the last possible date. So we'll let you know. Thank you.
If you sign up for his blog, you'll get emails on that. Next, I'd like to have Chantrell Bordeaux come up, please. Chantel wants to talk about beach road and beach access.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. The reason I'm here today is because I came with the Beach Road petition. Many of you may have seen this petition before. Many of you may have participated in signing this petition. It is a page 1, page 2 petition. The first one is regarding Beach Road, which many of you may know my constituent has been working on. Beach Road was given over to private owners by the county of Sarasota. We're asking or demanding that they return it back to the public as it should be, rightfully so. And secondarily, on the second page, we're also asking that the county will not try to vacate or give away or sell any of our beach access properties, parks, waterways, or any of our natural resources to private people or private developers. And we're just asking that the county will respect the public, basically. If you have never signed this petition before, we ask that you please sign these petitions, there's page 1 and page 2. And please, if you make a mistake at the bottom, please put your initial next to it. But the petitions need to be filled out in full. We do have a deadline that's quickly approaching. Mike is hopefully trying to get enough petitions signed by the 17th of this month, I believe, so that we will be able to get this on the ballot for the August election. If we miss that deadline date and don't collect enough petitions, then we will be trying to get it on the November ballot election. So please help out with this petition. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The next Cona meeting is Monday, July 9, and we'll be holding a candidate for that. And in November, we're having our 57th anniversary party, which will be on November 5th at Michael's on East. You're all invited to participate. You can get the contact information, and there's also a connection for PayPal on our website in the Contact Ours page.